When you see the whole world shaking and you feel your heart is breaking, take my hand, no hesitating. Oh, when you're just so tired of trying, all alone you feel like hiding. Together we'll keep fighting. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't stop now. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna mountains too high we can climb it. Feel this, we're taking the moment. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Can you see the sun is shining like a new hope? Feel it rising, coming over the horizon. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't stop now. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna mountains too high we can climb it. Feel this, we're taking the moment. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up, don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. There's no stopping.
Good evening. It's March 23rd, and we're live. If you see the clock behind there, it's 7 o'clock. And I'm Chris Gauchulo. I'm an associate broker and licensed referral specialist for Realty Connect. And this is my weekly podcast, Real Estate with Mr. G. I also have a blog that I keep, Real Estate with Mr. G.blog. Actually, let me see if I have my captions up here. Let's see. Actually, if you look here, all right, we have real estate with Mr. G.blog / resource materials. When you go to that area, you could download the spring of 2024 buying and selling guides. All right, but we'll talk about that later. But anyway, with my blog, I have the minimum of 5 new articles per week dealing with the real estate industry, at least 3 videos a week, and I think it's very informative. I hope you think it is too. And everything between the podcast and the blog is to keep you up to date with the changes within the real estate industry, the mortgage industry, home prices, mortgage rates, and so forth. And there's a lot of changes going on right now within the real estate commission industry, dealing specifically with commissions, and we're going to talk about that today. Okay, now with Realty Connect, I could help you purchase or list a property or properties throughout the United States of America. Okay. You could contact me, or you could go to my website. And again, here, ready to buy or list real estate with Mr. G.us, meaning that you could search throughout the United States of America. Now, you could still call me, you could still email me, I could consult you. We could discuss what's going on. With Realty Connect, you are presented with three um, top agents within that locale that you're looking or that you wish to sell a property. They will send you out information about themselves, and then you decide which one fits you best. Okay. So I will not do the actual showing or listing of the house, but I will lead you to these agents. And again, I could still discuss with you um, and consult with you to help you along with your real estate transaction. Okay, so you're getting two for the price of one, but it's not an additional fee. Okay, our fee will come out of the closing, and it's not. Well, you're using Chris Gardula, so we're going to add another percentage point. No, none whatsoever. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little background video on Realty Connect. And I think, you know, even more so now with the changes in the real estate industry as going along with commissions, I really believe Realty Connect is really the best uh, choice because you're dealing with the top agents in that locale. And I think that's a pretty good thing. So let's take a look at this.
Imagine hiring someone for a job without an interview. That's how most people pick a real estate agent. Unfortunately, most people don't find out what kind of agent they have until they're already in the middle of a transaction. But how do you find a great agent before making a move? Realty Connect is an invite-only network of the top 5% of all real estate agents in the country. Our free, easy-to-use online service helps you find the right agent for the job. Here's how it works. At Realty Connect, we analyze historical data from millions of real estate transactions and past client reviews to objectively determine which agents are good in a given area. Then we grade each agent on their skills, experience, reputation, knowledge, and communication. Extraordinary agents that score 95% or higher are invited into our network. This comprehensive vetting process allows us to recommend 3 top local agents that will be a good fit for a buyer or seller based on the client's unique needs and the skills and strengths of the agent. Just provide us with some basic information about you and your real estate goals. Once received, we'll match you with 3 top-rated agents that specialize in your market. Evaluate each agent and decide who you like best without any pressure or obligation. We make finding the perfect agent fast and easy, but the best part is our service is 100% free. That's right, none of our services will cost you a penny. We felt the best way to find a real estate professional, and it works by matching you with top-rated agents based on their skills and strengths. Our nationwide network allows us to serve every zip code in the U.S., so whether you're moving across the country or just moving across town, if you're buying or selling a home, let Realty Connect help you find an extraordinary agent today.
So that really puts everything in a nutshell. Again, you're being introduced to 3 top agents, the top 5% in that locale. And I think in one way, anonymity, I hope I'm saying that correctly, or someone who really doesn't know you, when it comes to business transactions, I think that's the better way to go. I mean, when you're ready to buy a house or list a house, everybody has a friend in real estate here and there, blah 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 blah. And if they're a close friend to your friend or a relative, sometimes like your own personal information, you really don't want that to go out in that tight cluster of people, and because you never know what information comes back, right? What information comes out in the conversation, either over the phone or in the church parking lot between people. So I think that's good. Sometimes you have to separate when you come to business. You really want it to be separate from friends and family. it's up to you, but I think it's a better way to go about it. So it's a good service, and when I get more into when we discuss the change in the real estate industry, I'm going to add on to that. But let's go to our topic question for this podcast, and let's discuss that first. So I need to find my person here. Here he is. This is Muyang from New York City's Chinatown.
Good day, Mr. G. Thanks for letting me on your video podcast. I am considering purchasing a home this spring for my entire family, including my parents and grandparents. Can you give me some ideas how the market will be in the next few months? Any of your expert and honored recommendations will be most appreciated. Keep on making these helpful videos throughout 2024. Thank you.
That's very nice, Wang, and we're going to help you find that house for your family, your parents, your grandparents through Realty Connect. So it's a very good question, okay, what he's asking. And let's get up our PDF file. Ta-da! Okay. Okay. So what are experts saying about the spring housing market? So when we think about the market, we're concerned about home prices. We are concerned about home inventory, how many homes that are out there. So we have, a good selection. It's just not one or two that we look at that's available, and we have to make a decision between those two. We'd like to see, maybe about 6 or 7 properties before we, make a final decision. Okay. We want to know about home prices. How are they going to be this year? So let's move down here. So the Odita Kushi, Deputy Chief Economist, First American, she says, I think I'm assuming it's a she, it's a very different name. It seems our general expectation for the spring is that we will see a pickup in inventory. In fact, that already seems to be happening, but it will necessarily be enough to satiate demand. All right, and truthfully, I'm seeing myself more listings coming up. I'm in the Hampton Roads area, so more people are adding more homes. But I have a family member who's looking for a home, and there's still not enough out there. And when he or she is ready to purchase and put an offer in, he or she is beaten out. Okay, so we need more homes out there. We need more listings. So Lisa Sturt-Tevant, chief economist, Bright MLS, there is still a strong demand as the large millennial population remains in the prime first-time home buying range. All right. And just a little side note, if you are a buyer, speak to your mortgage loan officer and ask them, are there any grants? Are there any special programs for first-time home buyers? And as President Biden was saying, he's going to put together, has to be approved first, but these different programs that will help people save to purchase a home. Most likely, what he wants to do is to help people buy down the mortgage rates because they are higher now. So now we come to Daniela Hale. Where we are right now is the best of both worlds. Price increases are slowing, which is good for buyers, and prices are still relatively high, which is good for sellers. Now, let me throw in this curveball or just a sense of reality. But notice that it says price increases are slowing. So of course, like in 2020 and 2021, we had prices going up about 18 to 20%. They're not going to go that high right now. When you talk about the pandemic years, I mean that was a very different time period, right? Because of the situation. You usually don't have home prices shoot up that high with a relatively short period of time. So, as long as the economy stays strong, and it looks like it's staying strong, you'll see the prices go up, but now they'll go up at a normal rate. It won't be super high. Okay? So, in that sense, if buyers say, "Oh my God, I can't afford another big increase in the homes. I'm looking at a certain uh, price range. That's what I've been pre-approved for. I want to stay with that. If they shoot up high again, it's going to knock me out." Most likely that will not happen this year. But home prices, again, they're going to stay high. Uh, they're not, the only way they're really going to go down if we have a problem with the economy. Okay. But um, if more houses come on the scene, and sellers have to make it, more attractive to their buyers out there, and it becomes a buyer's market, they say, all right, we'll lower the price for you if you want it. If the buyer asks, well, I'm going to make an offer like $10,000 below, they may consider it. But sellers don't have to do that right now because inventory is still low. So we look at Skylar Olson, chief economist of Zillow. There are slightly more homes for sale than this time last year, and there is still plenty of competition for well-priced houses. Buyers should prep their credit scores, and sellers should prep their properties now. Attractive listings are going pending in less than a month, and time on market will shrink in the weeks ahead. Now, two good points here. One thing you should be doing when you're a buyer is that work on your credit. And what does that mean? Well, if you have a lot of credit lines, or even if you have a few credit lines and they're high, they're pretty close to that credit limit, pay them down. That will increase your credit. The rule of thumb is that your ongoing balance in a credit card should be 30% of your credit line. So if you have a credit line of $1,000, you really shouldn't have more than a $300 balance in there. All right, so you want to keep those credit. It's best if they're completely, you buy something, you pay it off in 1 or 2 months, but you want to keep it at 30%. Okay, and if you had a couple late payments, you want to make sure while you're waiting to buy a house that your payments to your credit cards, to your car loans are being made on a timely basis. And for sellers, the houses that go quickly are your turnkey houses. That means the only thing the buyer has to do is turn the key in the door, come in, bring in their furniture, and they're set. They don't even have to paint. All right. Those are ones that go quickly. They're ready to move in right now. If you have carpets and they have stains on it, they're dirty, get them steamed, get them cleaned. If the paint is pretty shabby, spruce it up with new paint. And other things. There are some people who've updated. When I say people, there are some sellers who have recently and recently, not maybe in 6 months, but the last maybe 5 to 10 years, they've updated their kitchens, their bathrooms, their floors, and they're putting on the market. That will go faster than a house with an older kitchen, with older bathrooms, with the big thing now is these floors that are a combination of vinyl and wood. We have them, and they're fantastic. They don't scratch. I mean, you could still scratch it, but it takes a lot. If you spill water on it, and you didn't realize that you spilled water on it, it won't stain, or won't stain right away. So these are things that you need. So a house like that, where they've updated, they put in new windows, they have a newer roof, that will go quickly. So let's look at, and I'm assuming this is Ji Zhu, economist of Realtor.com. While mortgage rates remain elevated, home shoppers who are looking to buy this spring could find more affordable homes on the market than they saw at the same time last year. Specifically, there were 20.6% more homes available for sale, ranging between 200,000 and 350,000 in February of 2024 than a year ago, surpassing growth in other price ranges. So the houses that are in that, if we could say, a middle range, are becoming more apparent, or they're coming onto the market than they were a year ago. There was a lot of just really higher priced homes. Now they're appearing, so the people who are in that price range, they have more of a selection. So to tie it up here, to summarize, if you're looking to sell, this spring might be your sweet spot because there aren't many homes on the market. And if you're looking to buy, you have more choices than last year. It's not a heck of a lot of choices, but be prepared to move quickly since there's still plenty competition with other buyers. Don't forget, we have a good job market. Jobs are being created. Wages are going up. So more people are saying, hey, I'm ready to buy. I've been renting for a long time. It's time to purchase a property. Okay? All right. So since I want to tie that up, to summarize it, let me show my video on the spring market. Okay. Wasn't that nice? I created that with the assistance of AI, but then I tweaked it. I have to admit that AI did the majority of the work. There were a couple of background videos that I did not care for. I didn't think they were on topic, and I tweaked it. But you know, this is a little side note, but I'm enjoying AI. It's like having a staff of writers for you. I even have this one program that does charts and graphs, and it uses AI, and I just tell them what I want to talk about, and zap is there. So I'm not paying a video, I mean a graphic artist, whatever. Now people listen and say, "Oh, you take this job's being taken away." It still has to be tweaked. It still has to be fixed. It makes life easier, but I've seen people who just even within my company, they've done AI videos and they didn't tweak it, and it doesn't look good. Uh, uh, it kind of just meanders out there. And then if you don't look at it, you'll see that a lot of times AI will choose the same stock footage for a couple scenes. So you don't want to have a constant review of the same video. But like I said, I'm enjoying AI right now, especially when you're a single entrepreneur, right? You're not a big corporation. All right. So that's my little side note there, whatever it's worth. Now, there's a lot in the news this week about the National Association of Realtors settlement when it came to the different lawsuits. And to put it in a very broad definition is that sellers were saying, well, why, if a buyer hired a buyer's agent to help them find a home, why do I have to pay for that? And to be honest with you, it kind of makes sense, right? I mean, if you are using a lawyer in a lawsuit, you're suing somebody. I guess in some lawsuits they say, well, we enact a lawsuit, you have to pay for the plaintiff's legal costs. And a lot of corporations use that, especially if you default on, let's say, for instance, a credit card. But what the seller is saying, you're using that service. They're working in your best interest, right? They have a fiduciary responsibility to you, the buyer, to get them the best price on the property, to negotiate, to set up, the appraisal, the home inspection, the closing. I mean, you use a closing company, whatever, but all those pieces of the puzzle have to fit together. Why do I, the seller, have to pay for that? If you take, let's say you take a $300,000 home, 300,000 times 6, all right, that's $18,000. So the seller, I got to pay out $18,000. I don't even want to pay $9,000, which is half of it. But if it could just be half, I'll be happy. I'll pay the $9,000. Let the buyer pay their own fee. Now, anyway, let me show you what I put together, and then we'll discuss it more. But that's how it came about, right? This lawsuit that seller is saying the buyer should pay their half. And to be honest with you, I think it's right. I think it's correct. So let me show you this. I know that really doesn't look like it. The changes in the real estate industry. 1. Broker's commission will no longer fall on the multiple listing list, MLS. 2. Seller can still pay buyer's broker's commission, but does not have to. 3. The seller does not pay buyer's broker's commission. Their agent wants to structure will not lower prices of homes directly. Now, actually, I took a still shot of that, a screenshot, and let me put that up there, and we'll talk about that more. Okay. I was just trying. Okay. Never mind. I just was trying to get my label out of there. But anyway. All right. So when the house goes on the multiple listing service, that's where all the agents could see that the property is available. They will no longer put the percentage of the broker's commission on there, on that paper. And the reason why, because they might not be sharing it with the buyer's broker. Now, when I'm talking about this, when I say buyer's broker, I'm being very specific about it because the commission goes to the brokerage house and then it's given to the agent. The agent cannot be paid directly from the cooperating brokerage, right? So that's why I always say buyer's broker's commission. They could still pay, but they don't have to. And maybe when it turns into a buyer's market, they will do it. They'll say, "All right, I'll pay a 6% commission, and you give 3% to the buyer side." Right now, with this type of market, they don't have to. And the only reason they may do that, when they say they, I mean the seller, if they really need to sell the house. I mean, everybody, when they put a house on, they need this, but it's like they got to move quickly. It can't stay on the market for long. They may pay that 6%, but when you want to know something, because most buyers, when the agent writes a contract, they will ask for like 3% of closing costs. I doubt they're going to get both. They're not going to get 3% for their buyer's brokerage fee and another 3% on top of that to pay closing costs. So this is going to bring a lot of, I don't want to say controversy, but a lot of things have to be worked out on this. A lot of logistics. So number three, if seller does not pay buyer's broker commission, he or she can negotiate with their agent on percentage. Now, I know the buyer's agents are not going to be crazy about that because now they have to really talk about what they're worth. And maybe the buyer says, well, if you just show me one house, I can't see why I have to pay you 3%. If you show me 5 or 6, it takes a while to locate and secure a home for me. If that takes a while, I'll pay you 3%. But if boom, I go into a house, I love it, fall in love with it right away, and I want it, I'm not going to pay you 3%. So this has to be negotiated. But I'm going to add something else to this. And when I add something else to this, I'll put myself. One of the toughest things when you're working with buyers is that they do not realize that they just need one agent to show them all the properties in the area in which they're looking, unless they go into another state. If they say, I'm going to look in Virginia and North Carolina. Some agents here, because we're close to North Carolina, also have a license in North Carolina. All right. But basically, I never, dealt with someone who was looking at 2 states. They were all looking in the Hampton Roads area. So now what gets confusing for the buyer is that they'll see a whole bunch of listings, on Zillow, on Realtor.com, and they think, well, if I'm going to see that house, I have to just go with that agent. And this is another listing, I got to go with that agent. We're not realizing they choose one agent and we could show them everything. And what happens is that you work, and it might be just over the phone and the internet, with suddenly, and you're really working hard. You're sending them listings, you're discussing listings, and then all of a sudden they go with another agent. But now if they have to pay the fee, then they say, all right, I've interviewed you, I talked with you, and that's why Realty Connect is a good thing. You're a professional. I'll go with you. I'll just work with you. And if you find me a home, I'll pay you 3%. I'll pay you 2%, whatever. And I think that's going to be a good thing. It's extra work for the agent, right? It's not a slam dunk deal. You got to buy, automatically you're going to get, the most, well, an average of 3%. You might get 2%, you might get 4%, but it's going to be mostly around 3%, and you're set. But now with negotiating with the buyer, you're not guaranteed that 3%. They say, I'll work with it, but I'm going for a $500,000 home. I'm not going to pay you. I guess that 500 times 3. I'm not going to pay you $15,000 to find me a home. So it's going to be, the more I talk about it, the more it's going to be a game changer. It's going to be different. But their reasoning, the buyer's reasoning is, if it's a 300, I'll go even lower. If it's a $200,000 house or $500,000 house, you do the same driving around, right? The same negotiating. Why should there be this exorbitant price of $15,000 going to pay you, as opposed to $9,000 or less? So this is going to be a game changer. As much as I see on social media where agents say, "Oh, I survived the NAR settlement," it's going to be a game changer. It really is. But I think the buyer agent will have more loyal clients in the long run. It's going to be tough in the beginning. It really is. But I think in the long run, it's going to be better. And number 4, and I really wanted to discuss this because I read in some articles that it may bring down prices of the home, and bring down the prices of homes. It's not going to bring down prices of homes. That's based upon supply and demand. All right. Now, with each individual sale, and if it's a buyer's market, and the seller says, well, if I don't capture this, I have a good buyer here. They've been approved. Their credit is sterling, or they have great jobs. I know they could afford it. I'm not going to have a problem at closing, and they're looking at the homes. You know what? I'm going to offer to pay their commission. Or if it's a situation where, trying to think where it would, it's hard to say where it would really lower the prices. Maybe some in the buyer's market, some sellers will say, well, I don't have to pay 6%, I'll pay 3%. I'll bring the price down a little bit low, but I don't, I think the most, again, in the buyer's market, the seller they might say, I could either lower the price of the house or I could pay you commission and whatever works best for you. That could be a possibility. But as per the, economics 101, it's the it's supply and demand that really affects the prices on these properties. All right. There's going to be more information about this coming up in the next few weeks, the next few months, because first it has to be agreed upon. So nothing really is going to happen until July, when it's 100% approved, but most likely it will be approved. And then truly the changes will have to go within the various real estate boards about how this is going to come about. And I see already these classes being offered that agents have to buy for, like they know right now what's going to happen or how it's going to be worked out. But we're at the very beginning stages of it, and how do we make it run smoothly? How is the consumer, the house buyer, going to react to this? I mean, there's still a lot on the table. Like even to take pay for a seminar on how to deal with it. No, it's always the profit model. Let me jump on this now. Let me make some money on this now. This big change just came out last week. I already have a system in place to solve the problem. And yet the logistics of this whole thing hasn't been worked out yet. I would take my time before you start paying for these webinars. Everybody has the better mousetrap out there. They said, this is how I get all these listings. This is how I get all these buyers. Now I know how to deal with this big change in the real estate market. And they don't know because it's not set up yet in concrete. I mean, it's going to happen. But the logistics about it has to be worked out with the different real estate boards. So anyway, that's my speech on that. What I also want to show you on my blog, we have the spring edition 2024 of things to consider when buying a home, and also the seller edition, things to consider when selling your house, okay? And you go to realestateWithMrG.blog/resource-materials, and you could download those PDF files, those guides, those wonderful, beautiful guides. They're the best guides in the world. I never seen such guides. In the history of America, I've never seen such guides. All right. So let me get rid of that. Let's get rid of that thing. All right. All right. So my producer Isabella said she has some old footage of me being on the Odd Link Letter show. Is that true? I mean, that's a little...
Mr. G, great news. We found video footage of you when you appeared on the Art Linkletter show called Art Linkletter and the Kids. We would like to share it with your audience. Please enjoy.
Art Linkletter and the Kids. Join us for 15 minutes of unrehearsed, unpredictable fun with children. Starring kids from 2 to 10. With the Pied Piper of TV and radio, the people are funny man, Art Linkletter.
I do remember that when I was on the show, and there was a little panel with kids, and he asked us a whole bunch of questions. That was really cute. Thanks for finding that, Isabella. I thank you very much. And that's it for this week. tomorrow is Palm Sunday and the beginning of Holy Week. I'm very active with my church. I may or may not have a new video next Saturday. It'll be Easter Eve, and my daughter's bringing down her children, our grandchildren. So I may forgo a video next week, or it might be pre-recorded earlier. Okay, I'm still considering what to do. But in the meantime, I wish you all the best. And if you are a practicing a Christian, if you're practicing any religious background, person, I wish you all the best through, because there's a lot of holidays from different faiths that are interlocking. I wish you the best. Always remember, be kind to each other. The greatest power we have is the love, and the greatest gift is each other. Thank you very much.